So Katt Williams is a genius because he's able to call out the top comedians of today, and those people are instantly obviously going to respond, thus driving traffic. Now he has what? 36 million views on a podcast in 5 days. The first 8 hours of that podcast had 3 million views. And then it went up to 20 million. I was impressed. This was the second day. Now it's at 40 million views. Why? Because he knows how to get eyeballs watching him. He knows that if he offends these people by calling out his enemies are going to respond. And what's going to happen? He's going to get a huge loads of traffic. All of his enemies' fans are going to know about him. And that's why he's one of the smartest geniuses, because he is able to steal fans by calling out his enemies. And now his enemies' fans know about him. And they obviously knew about him before, but now he's a revival. Let's call this new tour your revival tour, because you just came right back on the map. God bless you, Katt Williams. We want to see you do good with your platform. We love you, Katt. Katt in the Katt. And then he's talking about how Steve Harvey stole his homelessness story. How do you get a homelessness story stealing? He's like, yeah, Steve Harvey was never homeless. He's stealing my story. I was actually homeless on Miami. I was actually stealing car radios just to make money. That's a cool story, Katt. Similar story to mine. I was actually a huge YouTuber doing pranks. Made a lot of money in a year. Oh, money I never heard about. Lost it all. Became broke. I was homeless for a while. My mom said, yo, you ain't sleeping in the car no more. You got to come home. And she made me come home and sleep at home because she's like, I don't want a son that's homeless. How does it look on our family? So she made me come home. I came home, $0 in my bank. I just wanted to sleep in a car because I knew that if I was able to hustle, if I was able to become uncomfortable, I can get everything back again, because nothing grows in comfort. Everything grows in discomfort. So I went home back to my parents anyway. And seeing my mom again, I was able to revive my hunger. My hunger was because I wanted a good life for my mom. And so being back at home, I remembered my roots. Like, I wanted to hustle for her. And so now I instantly bought a bike. I was like, let me do Uber Eats. I was doing Uber Eats, and then what happened was every time doing Uber Eats, I was losing money. I had a motorized bicycle, and it kept breaking down because, I don't know, its bike just kept breaking. So every time my money was going towards the bicycle, like, I wasn't even making money. So I started off at that job, wasn't making money, every time just fixing the bike that keeps breaking down. And then after that, I started, in a meditation I asked myself, what can I do to make $10,000 by the end of the next month? This was the meditation question. In the meditation, I got a response from the higher consciousness, and it said, if you want to make $10,000, all you got to do is start cutting people's hair. So it was, at the time, because of the disease that was going around, the Wu Chang disease that was going around, nobody was cutting hair because we were meant to stay home. And because of that, I knew that there was a huge market for cutting hair. So I put up an ad, and I cut hair for $60 in half hour. I made $60 a half hour cutting hair. You know, before this, I never even made in Uber Eats $60 in 6 hours, because sometimes Uber is too much traffic, no one's tipping. So in 6 hours doing Uber Eats, I never made $60. But cutting hair, I made in half hour $60. I was impressed. I was like, no way, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna make money. I was making a lot of money. I paid off my debts, and then I made a lot of money. I had a lot of money because of cutting hair. And I was like, what can I do with this money? I want to do my real passion. I opened up Keys Stand-Up Comedy Club. Damn. That's how Keys Stand-Up Comedy Club came into fruition, was because I saved up a lot of money cutting hair, and I wanted to open up my real passion. But now I feel like when you get to certain peaks, you got to continuously stay humble. You got to continuously stay hungry, because then that's when God crashes you down from the mountain, because you're not remembering who gave you all this. If you're a son of God, if you're just one of God's tools so he can speak through you, so that way he can have fun at creating, and you're over here now being cocky, oh, I created all this. No, you didn't. The Most High did. So if you don't let him have the credit, he'll crash you again, and you'll be homeless. So I actually had a similar story to Katt Williams, where I was homeless at one point, and then I moved back in with my mom's, and then I was hustling at Uber, and then from Uber I started doing haircuts, saved a lot of money, and then opened up a comedy club. That was where I started. I was actually like Katt. I was actually homeless. So it's cool how me and him actually have similar stories. And I wasn't like living on the streets homeless. I had a car I was living out of, but yeah, I was homeless. I had lost it all. I lost the house I was in and lost my car. Just so I sold my car after, just so I could have some money, because I really was in desperate need of money. And that's when I decided to move back in with my mom after I sold my car. And that's when I bought the bike and started doing Uber. It's cool. But yeah, I believe God has to have you lose it all, so that way you can only look up and at Him, who is the real source. You don't need resources. You need the source who provides all things. You don't need any other resource than the source who provides all things. People, places, and things, and events, and money. That's the only thing y'all need. Appreciate y'all for tuning into Keys podcast. Much love, man. If y'all got some questions y'all want to ask me, ask away, goddamn it.